Pete, thanks for coming by.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too. If I had a whistle, I'd blow it for you right now. We'll see you next time on Anything is Possible. Pete Claussen, everybody.
You didn't even get into the interesting stuff.
Did I miss the interesting stuff?
Yeah.
What did I miss?
Seven Islands State Park, Smithsonian.
Oh yeah, roll. Can you guys
You don't want to do that now?
Yeah.
All right.
So we didn't get to the interesting stuff. Seven Islands, Smithsonian, break it down for me.
Well, I've been really fortunate. I think one of the most enjoyable things that I've ever done is to be involved with the Smithsonian. And I was fortunate to be asked to join the board of the American History Museum in Washington, and stayed on that board for 7 or 8 years, and became chairman, and got to meet some fabulous people.
How did that even happen? How did one?
My wife is actually responsible for that. She was a quilter, is a quilter, and the Smithsonian has a business ventures group, and they made the mistake of licensing some of the quilts from their collection to be copied, but the company was making them in China, and all the American quilters got outraged. They started picketing Dillard's and doing all this stuff, and they weren't getting anywhere with Smithsonian. So I said, "Dear, let me see if I can help out." So I went up there, a cold call, to just start talking about it. We got it all resolved, and they, out of that, they said, "Would you like to be on the board?" So
that seems to be kind of a pattern of your life, though. You work with people, and then they go, "Hey, why don't you come?"
Yeah. Well, that certainly was, and it's been I continue to be involved with them. And,
there was some talk when they were going to redevelop the World's Fair site. There was some talk, I remember. They had this one plan that would include like a Smithsonian of the South.
mm-hmm.
Were you part of that?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Now tell me about Seven Islands.
Well, we live in Seven Islands, and there was a fellow about 15 years ago that decided that he would like to build a theme park out in East Knoxville. And we got up one morning, looked at the paper, and said, "We live on the river." I said, "That is right across the river from us. We're not going to have a theme park there. Light shows at night, we like it the way it is." So I wound up acquiring the property across the river, and worked with Tommy Shumpert when he was county executive, and we put together Seven Islands Wildlife Refuge, which is now going to be Seven Islands State Park on the 1st of July. So
congratulations.
That's been a really interesting.
What's interesting about that, though, is that you made the decision to purchase the property, but then you made the decision to turn it into a park as opposed to just keep your view nice.
Yeah, well, sometimes you really are better off giving something away than you are keeping it. And I mean, if you keep it, you have to maintain it. If you give it away, somebody else can maintain it. And it was, although it was right across the river from me, it's 30 miles to get there by car. You had to go to John Sevier Highway or Highway 66. So it was, even though you looked at it, but it has really gone from being a picked over pasture to being a fabulous place. We got a lot of help from natural resources people, the Department of Agriculture, and put warm season grasses in, and got a lot of birds. I think they're up to over 180 different kinds of birds.
Wow. And the beautiful thing is, all across the United States of America, though, people like yourself have realized that when you open up space for people to enjoy it, our state parks are a wonderful resource.
And I grew up in New Jersey, and I saw what happened when you don't do that. And to me, it was more obvious the need to do that than it would be for a lot of people who don't realize that what can happen if you don't.
Wow, thank you for doing that.
I enjoy it every day when I look out my back window.
Thank you, Pete Claussen.
You're welcome.